What is happening, YouTube? One day before Thanksgiving. So, the Golden State Warriors. We were on a nice winning run. We beat the Jazz by like a really exciting amount of margin. Utah Jazz, I heard they were on a run, and then we just broke it. But then Kawhi, it was announced he got hurt. Paul George is not going to return as, for I don't know, like he's probably gonna miss like 3 games or something like that, maybe like 1 week. I hope he can return as soon as possible. And then we went to face off against the Golden State Warriors at their home court arena. And let's just say we weren't really supposed to win anyways. Hats off to the Golden State Warriors. They're a really good team. It was just pretty painful how we lost, but it's not really the end of it just because so many of our guys were missing. But at the same time, this is not an asterisk to Golden State. Shout out to Andrew Wiggins especially. Andrew Wiggins, he definitely re rebounded himself from all the people who just shitted on him and everything. And we literally like our players, like a lot of them, they tried their best, they did their thing. It was just not enough to quell the Warriors' momentum. Tyronn Lue still being stubborn as usual. But anyways, let's just go player by player. And I don't think I described the summary of the game yet, but anyways, the whole entire game it was just a masterclass for Golden State. And the third quarter, we gained some hope. We we almost made a comeback. We were down by 9 points at once, and then at Golden State kept they just caught on fire. And Steve Kerr, he was pretty smart with the timeouts. He was not like Glenn Rivers. If the Warriors had Glenn Rivers, we would have won this game easily. But Steve Kerr is pretty much the best coach in the NBA because he gets the best out of the players. He plays like he makes bold decisions. He plays like pretty much the young talent, and most importantly, he calls timeouts when when the other team catches momentum. Tyronn Lue does that too, which is I'll give him props for that. But and then they just crushed us. Warriors just crushed us for this game, but it's more than okay considering, like I said, two of the best small forwards in the league didn't play. But let's get into the stats anyway. So first of all, we've seen something interesting. Amir Coffey, he got a significant amount of burns, and Amir Coffey is a pretty good player. 5 for 7, a really efficient night. 71%. He was all in the baskets, making mid range, and 3 for 4 from free throw, which is solid. 3 rebounds, and I like his assists as well too. Pretty much last season, me and Clippy Gremlin, we both said that Amir Coffey should run point a good amount of times, and this is the prime example on why Amir Coffey would be a good point guard because his playmaking is pretty smart and he has the size. So that is a really really good amount of combination. He's pretty much a way less athletic Ben Simmons, like because Ben Simmons is way more athletic. Coffee is definitely nowhere near as athletic, but he's a lot more skilled and he has the heart. Can you imagine if Ben Simmons actually had the effort of Amir Coffey? He'd be really unstoppable. Unfortunately, he has his downhill, but pretty good night of Amir Coffey. Hopefully he gets some more runs. He and BBJ and Musa need to get some runs, especially BBJ, man. Really disappointed he's getting sent down to the G League. Marcus Morris, he shot like eh, he shot okay, 40%, 6 or 15. A little bit inefficient, but he got the baskets draining down the hole. 3 for 5. From the 3, free throw attempt was pretty good. And 5 rebounds, which is he's improving all around. He got 2 steals, which is that's not, Marcus steals is just not too much in Marcus Morris' norm, but he did really good all around. Defense, he did his best, and offense, he was the one who was keeping us in the game a lot of times. Ivica Zubac, he had 8 points. He pretty much sagged off in rebounding. He's like Zubac at times like wish he could be like all over the place. Like it would be good if he it would have been helpful if he could just grab double digits rebound. He's been doing that, but it's just this game it just was not really his game. As you can see, Draymond kind of like gave him a little bit of trouble, or I would kind of also put the blame at his teammates as well too. As you can see, Zubac only took 5 shots. One key factor that I've been also saying is we just need to feed Zubac more consistently. There were so many times when I just saw Zubac on a mismatch. Let's just say on Wiggins, Clay. Zubac doesn't get the ball. That needs to stop. You gotta feed Zubac every time. At least attempt to feed Zubac when you see a mismatch. At least Zubac would have got fouled. He would have went to the free throw line. He would have made both, or at least made one. 2, Zubac would have got double team. And Zubac, we all know how good of a passer he is. He would have just dished it out to one of the shooters, let's just say Norman Powell or Marcus Morris or Reggie Jackson. It would have been an easy 3. So whenever there's an opportunity to feed Zubac, feed him down low. He's a really strong big as well too. Especially when Zubac was on Draymond. I didn't really understand why the teammates did not feed Ivica Zubac. I feel like that still needs to improve, but we're getting a little bit better at it, but need to try to do it more consistently, especially against the Golden State Warriors. Terrence Mann, a very efficient night as well too. He went 7 for 11. He was perfect from the 3-point line. Rebound was really good. 2 assists and 1 steals. So Terrence Mann, solid player all around still. He's also like efficient. You cannot really go too wrong with Terrence Mann. He's just bringing the momentum. Got some nice dunks. Definitely brought a lot of excitement. So definitely a pretty good player for us. Reggie Jackson, he did not drop 20 points as we would wanted him to. It would have been so much helpful if he did. Would have definitely exploded the momentum, but he wasn't bad. 4 for 9, which is pretty good efficiency, 44%. Threes, he only made 1 threes. Didn't get to the line as often. And he did turn five times, so at the same time, you can kind of say that Reggie did fairly poorly in terms of turnovers. And turnovers, something we definitely need to control still. 6 assists, which is pretty good. And then our bench player, Norman Powell. Norman Powell, he was also keeping us in the game as well too. He shot. It was more on his less efficient side, but at the same time, he had some timely threes. And he definitely got 7 boards. And which is actually pretty good for a guy like Norman Powell. He's more of a like a 6'3", 6'4", but he has like a near 7 foot wingspan, which is pretty impressive as well too. John Wall. Now I've been hearing people getting on to John Wall like crazy. People saying like, "Ooh, a lot of rough stuff to John Wall." But to be fair, I don't think he was. I mean, he was bad in terms of efficiency and everything, but it was just a typical off night. He was not like the worst player in the world. It was definitely one off night. He did get some rebounds, 4 rebounds, which is great for a point guard, and 3 assists, which is not as high as we would want him to be. And turnover was just not too bad. 3 turnovers, but he was 2 for 7 from the field. Would have been nice if Wall could have got more assists, but at the same time, the players just need to make their shots too. So it's hard to. So sometimes assists can be deceiving, especially if you have a low assist. But the player is a good passer. It can really happen. The player could just easily miss shots. Nick Batum, eh, he's pretty much more of an Iguodala at this point. He's not really. He has his roller coasters. He does good occasionally, but Father's time has came, and he got 2 rebounds and 1 steals, which is pretty good. Really good veteran guy to have, but he's not producing as much on the court as we would love him to do. But 0 for 4. Robert Covington, he didn't score much. He hit a 3. That's about it. But he was there. He was there on our defensive presence, and he got 6 rebounds as well too. And Robert Covington is a really good guy to play against the Golden State Warriors, considering the defense he plays. Moses Brown, he did fairly decently solid, 4 for 7 from the field, and 6 rebounds, which is pretty solid for Moses Brown. His free throw percentage was something that he definitely could have worked on. Now, Moses Brown, he's not a bad player, and I defended him a lot of times, but this is not the type of game that you would really want to run Moses Brown at times. But at the same time, though, I'm at least he's Ty Lewis playing one of the young guys, but pretty much it's still very disappointing that Moussa Diabate is not getting minutes. I hate being very cliche right now, but just look at his games if you don't really believe me. He's a double-double machine, 20 points, 14 rebounds. And it's not like I didn't watch the games. I actually saw the game last night. And Musa, that guy is switchable like nothing. I don't know why Tyronn Lue is not playing Moussa Diabate. Because I challenge every single of my viewers to pretty much tell me the reason why Moussa Diabate is not NBA material. Tell me his weakness that would make him a liability. Because any logical fan who watches Moussa Diabate play, there is no legit major weakness that would make him a complete liability on the court. Yeah, he can shoot, but it's not going to make him a liability because Moussa Diabate can do big man moves. He's one of those skinny, strong guys. He sets screens very well. He's a very good rebounder. He brings ferocious energy. And he would have been so perfect to play against the Golden State Warriors, considering how fast-paced they played. I mean, he'd be really ideal for the Clippers to play him in general, but especially the Warriors, pretty much because how fast-paced are the Golden State Warriors team. And Musa would just switch on to him, to players like nothing, especially a guy like Andrew Wiggins. Imagine Musa closing out on Wiggins. Musa would have definitely put up a great contest. But anyways, time to go to the Warriors right now. Andrew Wiggins, fat shout out to you. You played like prime Kawhi Leonard tonight. 66%, 6 out of 10 for threes. Oh my goodness, you murdered us, Wiggins. You murdered us for the night. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. Man, very good player. Very, very good player. And I'm really happy for a guy like Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, like new fans, like people who just watching basketball this year, like anyone who's watching my vid right now, you have no idea how bad the media and the fans slandered Andrew Wiggins when he was the Minnesota Timberwolves. People was saying he's a bust. He should be out of the league. He was this and that. Like he was a liability. Like nah. Wiggins are proving these people wrong. And people say he shouldn't have made the All-Star, but now Wiggins is slowly coming, he's slowly proving that he's a solidified All-Star. Um, he's a he's improving as a good two-way player, and he pretty much is the glue guy for Golden State. And then you got Draymond Green, who's also a really good glue guy since 2014. He's pretty much a really good playmaker. 12 assists. That's just crazy. That is just crazy. 12 assists. Are you kidding me? He just dimed like nothing. And 2 steals and 7 rebounds. And he got 9 points. And he made a 3 that Terrence Mann left them open, which is, I cannot blame Terrence Mann because Draymond, he's not ideal at shooting, but he can make it occasionally. And he just turns out to make it in this game. Kevin Looney, he did decently solid. He was hitting some mid range, which is pretty crazy. 3 boards, 2 assists and 2 steals and 2 blocks. Solid big for the NBA. Klay Thompson, man, he had a hot streak in the first half, but second half he didn't really do anything too significant, but he was cooking. 5 for 10, 50%. He was another people that people just went after. But Klay, he's slowly reviving. Quickly reviving, I should say. He just dropped 41 points the other night. And then Curry, of course. Curry always plays good for the most part. He didn't have as good of a scoring night as people would expect, but he did good all over the end. He got 6 rebounds and 9 assists, which is crazy good. Like his handles is really good. His playmaking is elite and good all around point guard. And he's pretty much the greatest point guard of all time. There's not too much of a strong debate. You could put him against Magic Johnson, but that's the only legit competition for that. But Curry's just a generational shooter. There's no describing against that. JaMychal Green, he pretty much he hit a shot and I believe he made a putback. Decent player, 6 boards, all that. Jordan Poole, he had a pretty bad night. Jordan Poole has had a really fat slump. He had a really good roller coaster. He was rising up. He shot up last year. He got the money. Now, is he a bust? Is he overpaid? I don't know. Time will tell. But Poole he's starting to get pretty inconsistent. He has one night when he just drops 20 plus, and then he has a night like this when he just shoots a lot of bricks. He just shoots a lot of air balls. He was just not the Jordan Poole we expected to see. But we still lost to the Warriors badly, which is a bummer. Kuminga, a really good role player to come in the future. I shouldn't say role player. I felt like that was a little bit disrespectful. At least like a star player. I could see him making 3 times All-Star. He's a really, really good power forward who's a pretty good defender, and he brings in some of the energy as well too. And he did decent all around. He filled up the stat sheets and all that. Dante DiVincenzo, he didn't do too much. 6 points. Anthony Lamb, that's crazy that Anthony Lamb actually gets minutes. Like Tyronn Lue, he's getting these types of player a chance. Something that Tyronn Lue could learn how to do it, but I guess he's doing it with Moses Brown, but should do that with Musa Diabate and especially BJ Boston. Imagine if Musa just played. It would have been so helpful. And the other 3 players, they didn't do too much. Patrick Baldwin hit a 3, that's another steal by Golden State. The Warriors, the GM is one of the best GMs in history, to be honest, because they don't star hunt. They prospect hunt. They go after the prospects, and that's how they become a really good team. They don't just go all out and trade for a quote unquote proven name and then just win one ring and then be trash for the next 5 years. Really well structured team. As for the Clippers, hopefully we play a lot better, and hopefully Kawhi and Paul George can come back as soon as possible, but at the same time try not to rush the process. The Clippers definitely need to feed Ivica Zubac the ball a lot more, especially when he has a mismatch, because Zubac is a strong, big, and most importantly, it's still very annoying that Tyronn Lue is not playing Musa Diabate. I've been hearing now reports that the Clippers might pursue a trade, which is it's very vile. It's very vile that the Clippers are really gonna have to make a trade just because Tyronn Lue does not want to. I don't know if it's Ty Lue's fault. Maybe is it the GM's fault or Steve Ballmer's fault by not by telling Ty Lue to not play Musa Diabate. I don't know whose fault is that exactly is, but it's pretty vile that Musa Diabate is not playing on the floor because I would much rather have Musa Diabate playing minutes rather than pursuing a trade. Especially the main thing I fear when the Clippers do a trade is not only they waste assets on what they don't need badly, they would overtrade. They would include guys like B.J. Boston, Terrence Mann, and Luke Kennard and all that, and pretty much that would not be good. The Clippers, the only thing that the Clippers really should just be doing is they should go on, they should go hunting for prospects in the upcoming draft class. That's what the Clippers should actually focus on doing. The Clippers are well-rounded team already, but Tyronn Lue just does not use the depth. So and Tyronn Lue, I don't know if he really does not want to play Musa Diabate and BJ Boston. Maybe Kenny Atkinson might gotta come for your spot at times, but at the same time, like honestly, this is the Warriors team. If we had Kawhi and PG, we definitely had a way better matchup. But nevertheless, leave the comment down below, and I'll definitely get with you in the comment section. As y'all know, peace and happy Thanksgiving, and also happy Black Friday.